That bold, yet simple, lightning bolt is the perfect symbol to represent him. It signifies magic and might, shock and strife, danger, and the destructive power of this godlike being. He can be callous, complicated, even controversial. So how and why does Black Adam keep coming back? Well, the answers lie within his comic books and in the turbulent timeline of events that make up Black Adam's history. The story begins in 1945 in the pages of Marvel Family #1. Like Shazam, he was chosen to be a champion for good. But unlike young Billy Batson, the vast, awesome abilities proved too much. The untold power corrupted Mighty Adam and earned him a new moniker, Black Adam.
We got some money.
Black Adam is the polar opposite of Shazam. He's an earlier champion, someone who's been granted the same powers as our Billy Batson, but is corrupted by them and has turned dark.
He was actually named the Mighty Adam, and Mighty Adam did a lot of good. But sometimes we have to understand that absolute power can corrupt absolutely, and eventually he decided he would take over.
So you have this incredible juxtaposition between light and dark and youth and arrogance and what two different people do with power.
Heroes don't kill people. Well, I do.
One of the many reasons why DC has endured is because of the edge. I've always loved the edge about DC characters. Even in the early comics, they were swinging, and they were big swings.
I think the major appeal of him was that he was a bad guy. Everybody likes a bad guy.
He just dropped young. But I don't think comics were ready at that time for that kind of duality of the good guy, bad guy. It was still considered kids' entertainment, so they didn't really want to promote someone considered a villain or even an anti-hero at that time.
Kahndaq needed a hero. Instead, it got me.
In the first storyline, at the end of it, he does die, and Black Adam was done.
Black Adam was defeated in that first encounter with Shazam, and for all his promise, he failed to feature in another issue. And just like that, as quick as the blast of lightning that bestows his powers, Black Adam was gone. And it would be another quarter century before the character battled his way back to the superhero stage.
Black Adam kind of disappeared along with the whole Shazam family for many years, and DC revived it in the early 70s.
In the 1970s, it's a period where there is a lot more sophistication in art styles, the subject matter is starting to get a little darker.
At that time, he really had no heroic qualities whatsoever. He was a pure villain. He was as pure a villain as one could imagine. But DC decided to evolve that character, and they brought in a terrific writer and artist named Jerry Ordway. And Jerry just had a real love for these characters and this world.
Well, Black Adam was a character that I initially thought of as an anti-hero.
I was a slave until I died. I kneel before no one.
He was somebody who wanted to be political, and he wanted to change the course of his nation.
Jerry was the first person to start to give Black Adam some redeeming social values, and he made him sympathetic by giving him depth, giving him a backstory, giving him complexity.
In the New 52, we see Black Adam on the throne, on Kahndaq. We see the love people have for him as their liberator. In his own country, he is seen as a protector, a liberator, a defender.
I grew up at a time in the 70s and 80s, and I got lost in my comics in Hawaii when I lived here as a kid. Well, we struggled here. We struggled so much we got evicted off the island because we couldn't pay rent. And I see a guy like Black Adam, who looks like me, that struggled bad, but he overcame. And he wound up galvanizing people around him. And that meant something to me.
The moment where Black Adam changed people's perception of him is when he came to the JSA and wanted to join and become a hero.
Now, it's not an easy transition from villain to hero. Black Adam kept many of his darkest tendencies. But when an individual possesses as much raw, unbridled power as Black Adam, you give them a second chance. A 15th chance, a 99th. And in time, the prideful anti-hero found common ground with some of his JSA peers.
I've learned that in this modern world, we shouldn't hurt our prisoners. We should treat them with dignity, respect.
Black Adam kind of returns in several Justice Society stories in the early 2000s. When Black Adam was involved with the JSA, there was a lot of conflict over his actions and how far he would go to wipe out a bad guy or solve a problem. And he was never a character with half measures.
And they said, we can't touch you with a 10-foot pole. He said, no, you need me. And he kept sticking around, and eventually the truth of his intent was shown, and he becomes an active member.
Black Adam went on a kind of redemption tour, but he was not really totally embraced because of his methods.
This is a guy that was born 5,000 years ago. So his moral code is just not maybe up to date with the times that we live in, right?
I don't know their crimes, but whatever they are, these men should face due process.
He was always a character who was going to handle justice roughly. And him being part of the JSA, that kind of brought up those problems right away, is that you had characters in the JSA who still believed in the good fight and believed in not killing a villain, not, just not wanton destruction. They were part of the old school, and he was clearly something new.
How long we gonna keep doing this?
Black Adam has kind of always been changing the status quo in the DC universe.
Black Adam is ultimately a flawed character who is struggling with his sense of self, and I don't know if he's going to redeem himself or not. We have to stay tuned and find out.
Sharuda is its capital. Its people are proud, and Black Adam is their dedicated defender, protecting Kahndaq from would-be conquerors and self-declared kings. It's no easy contract, the hope and health of an entire people resting in your hands, his mind poisoned by rage, his body ravaged by time. Can Black Adam rise to the occasion?
We could really use a superhero right about now.
I'm no hero.
Black Adam, as we know him today, is someone who has had a moral awakening due to the experiences of Jerry Ordway. He realizes that he would like his story to end in a better way than it began. So this is a guy that is absolutely dedicated to the not only protection, but that Kahndaq would flourish.
In Kahndaq, we see a connection from Black Adam not just to a land and to a nationality, but to his dead family. And we start to learn that his true motives and origins aren't as dark as we think they are, but they're based in pain. Even when the JSA lands, they find that they're in opposition with the people because the people support their ruler. And when they are harmed and when his people are harmed, there is no limit to the vengeance that he will unleash.
He has vowed that he would do everything to always protect the people of Kahndaq. And that means death to anyone who comes and tries to hurt the people of Kahndaq, Black Adam's family, people who he loves, who he cares about.
He is unstoppable when it comes to powers, but he also retains incredible wisdom. This is a really smart individual, and he has this regal bent on him, but he also has this take no prisoners, black and white code of justice. It's not evil for evil's sake, but there's a rationality into what he does, and that honestly, in some cases, that's what needs to happen. His form of justice.
It's his darkness that lets him do what heroes like you cannot.
Black Adam has that kind of passion and loyalty, and people respond to that. That's why he's their champion.